Hello there. It's Kate here once again. Um, to tonight, I'm going to talk about briefly the importance of praying for your husbands. That's for the people. And obviously, if you're not yet married, one day you get married. It's better to even start praying for your future husband in advance. A lot of times people want to get married, but if you ask them why they really want to get married, they can't really say. They just say, I'm lonely. Or sometimes they want to satisfy societal demands. They want to get married because their friends are getting married. They are tired of attending other people's marriage ceremonies. Sometimes they will say to you they want to get married because they are thinking about their biological clock. The biological clock is ticking. So they want to get married. They give all kinds of reasons. There are some they just want to get married because they are members of the Pepe them gang. They want to show their neighbors, show their friends that they too they can get married. But the thing is, marriage makes you even more responsible. As a single person, there are so many things you can. Obviously, there are you are as a single person, you are as free as a bird. But the moment you step into that covenant of marriage, you become a different person. It makes you even more responsible. You are responsible for so many things. When you get married, you want to make sure that you continue to pray for your spouse. When you start having children, you continue to pray for your children. You continue to pray for the unity in your home, happiness in your home. You continue to pray for progress. You need to fast and pray. You need to be on top of your game spiritually, because I tell you, a lot will happen. There will be family members who really don't like the unity you enjoy in your home. There will be friends who they're just not happy to see that your marriage is succeeding. There are lots of friends and even family members, when they you allow them into your home, they come to size how successful you are, and they're thinking that perhaps if they replace you with some other persons, they might benefit more from either the man or the woman. A little do they know that it takes two to tango, that the two people in that marriage, they've worked so hard from the scratch to put up whatever it is that they are saying. So, but I'll tell you a story. Sometimes during the pandemic, we visited, we were invited to a 50th birthday of one of a church member, and as we got to the venue, I think they used their garden for the for the birthday celebration. I came out of the car and I went in and sat at the back of the garden where they had the maquet. Obviously, my husband was going to look for a more convenient place to park. And then, as I sat, a couple of minutes later, obviously he parked and came in, and then I saw him with the host, obviously celebrants, and then as they were coming in, and I saw that this celebrant actually held my husband, and then they were walking towards, rather than coming towards where I was sitting, they were walking towards the opposite direction. So I became interested to see who perhaps he was trying to go and introduce my husband to, maybe his family members or something, maybe his brother or whatever. So I now saw that they were talking, and he stood and he was introducing my brother to a woman, from my assessment from afar, I think a younger woman. So I was like wondering that who could that be? Like, I mean, why will you take a married man, and then take him straight to introduce to a a girl that is kind of a younger girl, like maybe half his age. And so I was like looking, and then after they finished, my husband now turned came and I could see the surprise on his face. Like I was asking that, who is that person? He said, to be quite honest, that he was surprised himself that he thought the man was taking him to the brother to introduce to the older brother because he said the older brother was there. But lo and behold, he actually just took him, held his hand, and took him to the niece who is about maybe 19 or 20 years old. So what am I trying to say? You'll be surprised that there are vultures everywhere. There are vultures everywhere. People are no longer who you think they are. People are just go-getters. If they cannot come directly, they can use their friends, they can use their family members, they can use their nieces, their nephews, just to get into you. Once they sense that maybe they feel that maybe a couple is doing very well or whatever, the next thing they try to look for an avenue to destroy that relationship, to plant in their own person for their own best interest. And that incident that happened that day, actually in my mind, I said, you know what? Today is the last day that this man and his wife will come near. And they were actually I noticed that they were very hostile because even when I went to get food, they said to me the food was finished. So I thought, oh, it will appear that these people, they've actually like kind of they've had us in mind and we didn't even know. So that day they actually showed their intentions of always coming around us and all of that. And that actually reminds me of a friend of mine who once said to me that um, sh after she got married, she and her husband, they were so close, they were doing very well and everything. And the husband had this friend, a common business partner who he would always go to, and they would always go to when they go on a visit. They go to visit the friend and the wife, and each time they get there, there's always this younger girl who lives with them, a family member of the wife. I think the wife's a relative. They will now say to this younger girl, go get something for uncle and his wife, go get some drinks from the fridge, or bring the food, serve uncle and his wife, and all of that. A little small girl that you could never ever. So what it means, never underestimate anybody, and that includes your housemates. So they kept on sometimes visiting these people and being served and all of that. And after some time, they relocated out of the country, and one thing led to the other. The husband then actually the life abroad, and he came back to the this massive mansion where they lived. And this same family friend of theirs convinced my friend's husband to sell the twin duplex, saying to him, your wife is not coming back. Why don't you move in with us? You need money, you need capital to start up a business. Nigeria is very tight now. You need a lot of money to start up a business. Why don't you, rather than living in this whole house, your wife is not here, why don't you sell this twin duplex, take the money, invest in a business, and after, obviously, and then you can use the proceeds of that business to buy perhaps maybe a smaller place where we are your family. You can live with us. You're not a stranger to us. You've known us for more than 10, 15 years, and we've been doing business together. Lo and behold, my friend's husband believed them, trusted them. They put out this twin duplex, a very nice twin duplex in a nice area of Lagos area, and then put out the house for sale, moved in with his family, and then sold the house without actually telling his wife, because he was told not to tell his wife. They had it all planned out. They wrote out the script, everything, sold the house, and then before you knew it, of course, moved into this family home. And then when the husband and wife, they had it all planned out. When each time the husband and wife in the morning they want to go out, they'll say to that little girl, prepare breakfast for uncle, prepare lunch for him, And if we don't come in early enough for dinner, prepare him the dinner, there's soup in the freezer, make some rice, blah, blah, blah. And then it's almost like, the thing about men have a weakness. And the earlier we begin to tell ourselves the truth, the better. A lot of times we try to hide under the cover of religion, under the cover of tradition, and we try to live a lie. And that is why a lot of homes are breaking, because we are not told the truth about the weaknesses of men. There are two major weaknesses of every man, be you a bishop, be a GO, be a pastor, a president, or a prime minister. Every single man, be it a megad, a driver, a politician, whosoever, the governor of a state, whosoever, as far as you're a man, you have two weaknesses, and these are the two weaknesses: women and sex. So once we have accepted these two weaknesses, now the second thing is, how do you protect yourself in order for you not in order that you are not set up to fail as a man? Protect yourself so that you are not set up to fail as a man. So what happened in this case, in my friend's case, they left the husband. Remember, the wife was overseas. They left this man with a young girl in the house. If the wife knew about that arrangement, it's also possible that she might not take it seriously to say, oh, is it not that small girl, housemaid? What will my husband do? Oh, I trust my husband. She might not even see anything wrong in it. But in this case, the wife didn't even know anything. So they had it all planned out. And this was a honorable man who loved his wife. He worshipped the very ground upon which his wife stood. Unfortunately, he fell. This man fell because from seven on cool breakfast, seven on cool lunch, seven on cool dinner. Remember, Uncle sold this twin duplex, so he had now a lot of money in his bank account. Remember also, he never disclosed to his wife that he sold the the twin duplex, which the two of them built together. So another thing you must also understand in this kind of scenarios, the moment a married man or a married woman is told by a third party, either friends, colleagues, church member, pastor, bishop, extended family members, or including a side chick, say, don't tell your wife, don't discuss with your wife, don't disclose this as a little secret. You know that that man is being set up to fail. Perhaps if the man himself had actually told his wife his intentions, oh, this is what my friend advised, family friends advised me to do. He's trying to say that, Nigeria is tough. If we sell this twin duplex, I could use it, set up a business. And since you are not here, since you're away, we need a smaller place. Then I could actually use the proceeds of that business to buy a smaller place, and then obviously lodge the capital again into other businesses to get additional streams of income. Perhaps the wife would have said to him, no, don't do that. Or the wife would have suggested other ways or other kinds of businesses where obviously she will be part of it, and perhaps he may have actually not fallen into that trap. Maybe the wife would have said, okay, you know what, go and rent a smaller place. I will send you some money from abroad for you to rent, at least pay for the next 1 to 2 years whilst you are trying to get your business rolling. But he kept all these secrets from his wife. And so lo and behold, what happened? One thing led to the other. He started sleeping with that little girl who is supposed to be a maid. Guess what? The summary of it is that that man is now married to that supposed little girl. So you see, the family members plotted, conspired, did everything to take that money away from his wife, even though the wife saw them as a family friend. This man used to go to visit the same family with his wife, but they never protected the interest of the wife. They never protected the interest of the children because obviously she had two children. They never protected the interest of the children. They were only interested in what would be beneficial to them. This man is a gold mine. It's better we marry him, marry off a little family member to him so that the wealth can come to our own family. So you see the selfishness of the world. That is why, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, you don't have to be naive. Not everybody who comes around your home, who calls you and your wife their family friends or their extended family members, not everybody is interested in the progress of that family. Not all of them are happy to see you survive, to see you succeed. I beg your pardon. Not every, there are some extended family members, they can go all out to destroy a marriage just for their own selfish interest. So be careful. So the spiritual is what controls the physical. The very first thing you are supposed to do, most especially as a woman, is to always cover your husband with prayers. Men, watch what you eat. Watch what you eat. Watch what you eat. Watch what you drink. Watch who touches you. Also, watch who lays hands on you. Watch the places you go that is called church, where you put your feet out and they wash your feet. Be careful so that your virtue is not taken away from you. The most dangerous part of the thing is that when these people, these covetous, greedy people, when they want to destroy, they don't care. They don't even remember the children of that family. They don't know the extent that their action, their ungodly action, can rub off on the children of that family. They don't care. All they just want to think about is their own selfish interest. So now, women, pray for your husband. Men, watch what you eat. Watch who serve you food. Even when you're going to Mama Put, I have heard about cases where men go into a particular Mama Put and they keep going there to eat. They keep going there to eat. Before you know it, they leave their wife and then get married to the restaurant owner. So if you're a man and you keep going to a particular restaurant every time, because they know that you're going to come at least once or twice every week. So they obviously, when they make an assessment of you and obviously they know that you're coming to you, they can get ready for and wait for you to serve you the concoction they want to serve to you. And before you know it, you start hating your wife, you start abandoning your family, and then you want to be with this restaurant owner. Be careful where you go, and then you just sit down and you eat. There are so many, some disciplined men, they don't eat when you, no matter what kind of food, they never eat outside. They always eat when they get back home, no matter how hungry they are, they don't eat outside. Those are the kind of men, disciplined men who understand how wicked this world is. Be careful, even when you are in that group in church, whether you are a member of the choir, you are the head of the choir, you are a pastor in a church, or you are you are in the protocol, head of protocol, or you are a member of a safeguarding team or whatever group or gang you are, so to say, in the church. Some of these churches, they are cults, they are not churches. And they have people, men and women, who are part of the congregation who work for the leadership of the church. Be careful when they serve you that food. Be careful when they bring all their plastics and they're serving you with their jollof rice and their fried rice and their yamache. Be careful when they serve you with the what's that one that they put? Is it Ebola or whatever? They put the ewedu inside the amala and they put all the fish and the meat. Be careful who serves you with all this food. Church is not a holy place. Church is not a place where you find righteous people. Church is, especially in this day and time, is a place where you find broken people, Jezebels, destroyers, who intentionally actually go to churches to kill, to steal, and to destroy. And they are so strategic. They join all these groups in the churches, and then God forbids it if they target you. And if you are the type that you eat just about anything, or you are naive, you think that everybody in church fears God, or everybody in church is godly or holy, you may get entangled and get trapped. These are destiny stealers, they are destiny destroyers. Be careful who gives you food in the church. Be careful where you go to and you start eating. Be very, very careful. When they serve that jollof rice, they serve the fried rice, they serve their malt drink and their meat pie. Be careful not to eat anyhow so that you don't eat your destiny away. So now, how do you, as a woman, as a praying woman, how do you help your spouse? How do you help your husband? So you might want to actually use this prayer point also to pray constantly for your husband. So you can pray by thanking the Lord for His favor on your life and the life of your husband and your children at all times. Give God praise for the kind of husband He has given to you. Be grateful for the kind of husband the Lord has given to you. Thank the Lord for ordering your step to be the person your husband has chosen. He did not choose any other person, He chose you. Thank the Lord for directing that husband to you. Praise the name of the Lord, because no good thing will He withhold from you and your husband, and of course your children. Pray that your husband will exercise the fruit of patience at all times in the name of Jesus. Like for a man, because he's the head of the home, he needs that fruit of patience, fruit of the Spirit, in order to be able to guide and to direct and to lead you and your children as the head of the home. Pray for your spouse who would exercise patience in relationships. Thank the Lord for your husband who will spend his time. Thank the Lord for your husband so that he can be a man that has a spirit of gratitude at all times. Thank the Lord for your spouse that will not, so that he will not maltreat you, but honor you and honor God at all times. And in honoring God, he will know that he's obliged to honor you. I tell you, if you get married to a man who doesn't fear God, then remember at all times who your father-in-law is. Satan the devil. Pray that you marry a man who fears God. And remember that marriage is a journey. Marriage is a journey. That the man fears God today doesn't mean that you should just relax and say, okay, this man fears God, so thank God for that. You have to continuously pray and to cover him so that that fear of God will continue every year, every month, every week, every hour, every day. You know why? Because down the journey of life, he meets with different kinds of people. He meets with work colleagues. He meets with new friends. He forms new friendships, new neighbors. Even he joins groups in the church where they might influence him. They might also influence him spiritually by evil laying of hands. They might influence him by now inflicting him with the spirit of lust, unknown to him. And then he now begins to take a pattern that he was never part of. But if you continue to cover that kind of a man, you continue to pray for covering, you don't relax in your prayer. No matter what they do to him, the hand of God will continue to be on that husband of yours to protect him so that no evil will befall him. So pray fervently and let it be a daily thing. Cover your husband. Pray also for your husband that he may receive the grace of self-control. Self-control. Self-control in all spheres of life. A man who is a leader, he needs that quality of self-control. Self-control, especially when it comes to the flesh, carnality, self-control. When he meets with temptation, self-control. The Spirit of God will be there to give him that self-control and the discipline so that he will not fall into temptation. Self-control when he's exposed to seductresses, self-control to be able to run away, to understand that when either a female colleague is offering him drink or being nice or asking him, "Are you okay? Do you look tired? Do you need me to buy you something or to buy you a drink?" He will know that that is a trap. He would know that she's just not being nice because she wants to be nice. He will be able to visualize, to see that that is a trap, and he will run away from such offers. Self-control. Self-control that even if he's a manager, he's a director in a parastatal, he's going to meet with all kinds of temptations because women, they love power, they love position, they love authority. And because they've seen him in a place of authority, they will come hunting for him to pull him down so that they can get him. So that when he faces those kind of situations, he will be able to say, "Get thee behind me, Satan." Self-control to actually be able to discern that when he's trying to fall into these temptations of the women, he will be able to flee that temptation. So every man, every married man needs that self-control, because without that self-control, if the man falls, he can not only destroy him, he will destroy his destiny, he will destroy the destiny of the wife, he will also affect the children and the grandchildren. It will also affect the stability of the home. And then one thing, the enemy actually uses women to penetrate into a man so that there will be now a loophole. Spiritually, there's no longer a covering, and then when the enemy wants to attack a family, he comes in through that avenue because already the man has given up himself. He's been set up to fail, and he has failed and obviously fell into the temptation. And then you see the family struggling spiritually, financially, and otherwise. Self-control. If there's anything you need to pray for your husband, married women, pray that God endows him, that the Spirit of God endows that man with the spirit of self-control. Very, very important. So your husband needs that grace. Thank the Lord for a husband who is sound in the things of God. A husband who is sound in the things of God has nothing to do with a husband who attends church 3 times a week or seven days a week. A husband who is involved in things of God is a husband who is in depth, who has the fear of God. A husband who is deep in spiritual things. A husband whose main interest in serving God is to seek for how to please God. A husband that when he sees temptation coming, because he is deep in the things of God, he immediately senses the Spirit of God actually obviously flags off that temptation and is able to withdraw his footstep or to flee that temptation. That's the kind of man. A husband who is a prayer warrior, who leads his family, who has a family altar, who takes charge of the family altar to pray always fervently and to at least fast 2 or 3 times every week in order to to charge up himself spiritually, knowing that the role that he's holding as the head of the family is very important, because once he fails, every other thing in the home will fail if not carefully managed. So a husband who is sound in things of God, who studies the word, who has the word of God in him, a husband who leads the whole family in a Bible studies, teaching the children the ways of the Lord, using the Bible as a template. So pray, women, pray that God should give your husband that spirit of the fear of God, so that he will hunger and thirst for righteousness. Because the world now is becoming a bit scary, you see. So once the man steps out of the home daily, he's going out to work. You don't know the next 7 hours. A lot of things may transpire. A lot of things he may fall into all kinds of temptations that even he may not even be able to tell you when he comes home. Another thing you must pray as women is that the Spirit of God should give your husband that spirit of unity and transparency, so that no matter what challenges he's going through out there, either at work or even maybe somebody's tempting him or trying to seduce him, he will be transparent and open enough to discuss it with you so that the two of you can pray about it. And obviously to help him not to fall into that temptation. The moment he starts hiding those nitty-gritties from you, it means that he's actually encouraging and enhancing or kind of enjoying that attention that the strange evil woman is giving to him on the outside. You understand? So it's opening the doors to temptation. And he might end up falling into that temptation. So pray that the Spirit of God will give your husband that spirit of discernment and a spirit of cooperation and understanding of the world, to understand that the world is wicked, that he should not even in any way entertain any a kind of secret conversation, either, especially in these days of social media, where I actually understand that a lot of men also, they go through, once they open their Facebook Messenger, there are some seducers who actually send their nude all kinds of nude photos to different men on social media. So, but the thing is, if you are a man who fears God, and you understand you're married, that you are married and you have a covenant with your wife and with God. So once you come across those kind of nude photos, first of all, you discuss it with your wife, because the moment you discuss it with your wife, you're being transparent. So that gingers you up to put a bar of protection over you. But the moment you keep it secret and you keep kind of exchanging communications with those strange women, it means that you are an enabler. It's just a matter of time. One day you are going to fall. Pray that your spouse will be steadfast in his walk with God. Pray that the character and lifestyle of Jesus will manifest in your husband. The character and lifestyle of Jesus will manifest with your husband. You should be able to say, just like Jesus, get thee behind me, Satan, when it comes across temptation. Most of the major temptations that men face in life, money and women, money and women, money and women. Pray that the character and lifestyle of Jesus will be manifested in the life of your husband. Pray that he may receive the grace of God, that he will see the Lord primarily as his source of joy and love. You know, there are sometimes, as a result of upbringing, you know, sometimes a lot of men, they are from dysfunctional families, and then you might actually think that they are bold or they have self-confidence, but they might have some kind of low a feeling of lack of self-worth on the inside of them. So sometimes they cover it up. Such men are also vulnerable. So such men, when they see women outside their marriage and the women are showing interest in them, oh, you look handsome, oh, you look, they pay them compliments, they show interest in them. Rather than seeing it as a flag off for them to run away from the temptation, they become excited. They become excited that, other women are paying them compliments. They become excited, and before you know it, they fall. That's because they are vulnerable. They are vulnerable, so they don't know when to draw the line to say, I'm a married man. This woman is paying me compliments. I don't know what her intentions are. He may not have any bad intention himself, but the thing is, how is he sure of the intentions of that work colleague who is paying him compliments, that church worker who is paying him compliments? You understand? She might have an ulterior motive. So she will start by paying him compliments. And before you know, the man starts comparing. Oh, my wife doesn't even pay me compliments. Oh, I didn't even know I'm looking good. And you realize that these things happen, especially when men are in their 40s or in their 50s or in their 60s. So it's like I don't know whether it's midlife crisis. They want to look young. They want to look they start becoming extremely careful with their appearance and everything. So now an outside woman is coming in to kind of pay them compliment. They just get carried away and they become excited. Before you know, they start having secret conversations with this woman, and they start comparing. Oh, but, this woman is really showing me that I'm a man. She's showing me that I'm good looking. My wife doesn't pay me such compliments. But you don't know that this woman that is paying you compliments, she has a hidden agenda. The enemy is actually using her to come and rip your home apart. And a lot of these women these days, they usually don't move around ordinarily. There are spiritual aspect of these things where a married man gets caught up in their web, and before you know it, the man's life is destroyed. Financially, it's destroyed. Emotionally, it's destroyed. You understand the stability and the peace that he usually has in his home now is taken away, and then everybody starts running helter skelter. Because these people, these strange women, they are not joking. They have come to kill, to steal, and to destroy. You understand? And the thing is, the sin of adultery is a sin of the body, the sin of adultery. So it's like once the marriage bed is polluted, every other thing is like you've opened the home to all kinds of all kinds of attacks, financial attack, all kinds of attacks. And this is not peculiar to men alone, also with women who are cheating, married women who are also cheating. The moment you start giving your body as a woman to another man, you're exposing your children, your husband to all kinds of attacks. And then before you know it, there will be stagnancy. The joy and peace and the success that you all of you used to enjoy in the marriage, everything just begins to crumble gradually. You understand? So women also be careful. Pray for a spouse who will honor his vows at all times in the mighty name of Jesus. Pray for a spouse who will honor his vows at all times. When you listen to a lot of African men when they speak, sometimes I wonder if we're to look at the Ten Commandments in Exodus 20:14, which says, "Thou shalt not commit adultery." How many men, how many married men can actually hit their chest and say, "Yes, since I've been married, I have not um, committed adultery. I've not slept with any other woman apart from my wife. I've been committed to my marriage vow. I've continuously honored my marriage vow." How many men can actually hit their chest? So if you really look at it, if the Ten Commandments it's anything to go by, it means that, I don't know, the numbers of men that will be in hell, it means hell will be filled up with a whole lot of men then, because there are very few men who, from what is going on in the world now, from even the utterances of these men, I have seen somewhere on this, Facebook a couple of months back, a man actually posted something to say uh, there is no need there is no need for a woman. There is okay. He put it in a kind of a parable. What he said is there is no need moving from a country to another country because it rains in that country, because it rains everywhere anyway. So literally, what it means is that if you are living your marriage or you are divorcing, if as a woman you're divorcing your husband based on adultery, or infidelity in the marriage, and then you leave your husband, any other relationship or any other man you are going to get married to is still going to cheat on you anyway. So what you see, what that the writer is trying to say is that it's like actually saying that all men cheat. He's actually saying that even if a man has not yet cheated, somehow down the journey of his of his marriage with his wife, someday somehow he's still going to be found cheating. So that is really very disturbing. The question now is, if this is a weakness that men have, or a majority of men have, how do we resolve it? Do we begin to now teach our young women to say, look, listen, no, this is the weakness that somehow we cannot explain it. This is the weakness that most men have. The only ones that you can guarantee that they don't cheat are either the ones who have experienced the damages that infidelity causes, and they now decided after they have suffered the consequences, then they now decided to repent to become better people, or the men who are eunuchs. So, so how do women help their men not to fall into this temptation of cheating? I saw another article, or is it a video, where they said a professor carried out a research, even in the animal kingdom, where a lion was placed with a lioness, and then over the months or so, they will put food and put this old lioness close to this lion, and the lion will just go and pounce on the food and finish off the food and just ignore the lioness. And this went on like that, and then after some time, the researcher replaced this existing lioness with a new, fresh lioness that this lion obviously hadn't met. And immediately they now put even a more delicious meal for the to see if the lion will be more interested in the meat than this new lioness. Lo and behold, the lion forgot about that delicious meal and pounced on this new lioness. So, in essence, the essence of that research is that men kind of do they really? It's like even in the animal kingdom, that the male the men get tired easily when they have been married for a long time, and they just like they will say, there's this thing they say in Africa where they say, oh, a man cannot continue to eat one particular dish like a goosey soup. He needs to taste other other menu like ogbono soup or banga soup or a furry or something like that. So the question now is, are they trying to say to us that a man cannot be satisfied with one woman? If that then is the case, how do we now help these men in order for them not to fail in their journey of marriage? Why then are certain a priest allowed to declare that they are celibate, when even there is an understanding that one woman cannot satisfy a man in his lifetime? How many men then are faithful to the wives of their youths? They are faithful now and are guaranteed that they're going to be faithful to their wives all through their lifespan. You see, these are some of the questions. So if we look at it carnally, as far as these men, they are in the flesh, from what is going on, it might be difficult until the flesh is disciplined. Until this flesh is disciplined. Until they begin to remind men about the consequences of infidelity, the consequences of divorce, the consequences of sleeping with that housemaid, the consequences of being sexually immoral, the consequences of losing your home, losing the wife of your youth, even losing your relationship with your children, until we begin to emphasize on these things, to actually bring these things to the limelight, to help men to discipline themselves. Because we understand that men don't want sex, they need sex. But in needing that sex, there has to be a level of discipline. And this discipline doesn't come from just one avenue, it has to be discipline that is mastered, discipline that is intentional, discipline that is thinking about consequences. Take, for example, in the United Kingdom, there are laws that prevents people from fighting from fighting. So if you fight and there are evidences to show that you fought either in the street or even in the home, or obviously it can earn you a criminal record. So people, both men and women, even including children, they are aware of this law. So no matter how hot-tempered you are, no matter how angry you get, no matter how much somebody verbally abuses you or whatever, you restrain yourself because you know that if you hit that person, that can be interpreted to mean grievous bodily, grievous bodily harm (GBH), and you can go in for it. It can earn you a criminal record, and once you earn a criminal record, there are so many jobs that you will not have access to. You won't be able to work. It can actually earn you a jail sentence or suspended sentence. So because everybody knows that, and it's funny because once you are landing in, no, whether you are a visitor, whether you are a resident, as you are landing in from Heathrow, from Gatwick, from City Airport, automatically you understand that you are not allowed, you cannot do that. So you discipline yourself. So what does that mean? It means that human beings, once they understand consequences, automatically that helps them to control themselves. That helps them to discipline themselves. So rather than just raising young girls from the age of 18 months, 2 years, from that young age, teaching them how to be good wives and good mothers, and not actually inculcating in them that you see, as you're going to get married, there are certain weaknesses that this man that you're going to get married to, there are certain weaknesses that are inbuilt in the man. You have to help this man. How do you help him? Don't set him up to fail. Don't leave your housemaid in the house and go away for not as little as 24 hours. It's just a matter of time. The man will fall. The housemaid, some of the housemates even they come prepared. You understand? So once the women are aware, don't. The other day I was reading on social media, one celebrity actually stated categorically that she doesn't allow her friends in her home because of her husband. People actually think that she's stupid. So that's a wise woman. She knows what she's talking about. Maybe she has had a bad experience in the past, or she knows the kind of friends that she has, because there are some friends that will intentionally come to your home to seduce your husband, especially when they see that you and the husband and wife, they are happy together, they are successful, they are growing. They just intentionally come there to seduce them, but just to destroy that marriage. They may not be interested in marrying the man, but they just want to destroy the relationship. You understand? So women also should be taught. It's not enough to say, oh, you be a home, learn how to cook, learn how to take care of the home, learn how to. There are so many other intricacies to this. Learn how to be your husband's helper in trying to make sure that you are not part of an enabler who sets this man up to fail. Stop giving your husband's telephone numbers to your friends. Stop leaving your friends in your matrimonial home and then you travel. A friend of mine, oh God rest her soul, I think she's late now. There was a day she was having a conversation with me when she was alive, and she actually told me that she traveled on a business trip and she left her friend in with her husband in the matrimonial home. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, are you so naive? She said even when she came back, the friend started behaving funny, and then she was wondering that is she now suddenly a rival to her friend? I didn't say anything, no, but in my mind, I'm well unconsciously. I just said, but I didn't want to talk too much because like when you want to kind of address this kind of issues, they would think that you are accusing their husbands. It's nothing to do with accusations. It's just that she was actually really naive. You left your husband with your female friend in the house, and then you went away on a business trip for 1 week. Are you high on something? Do you leave a dog with your bone or with your roasted chicken, and then you go away for 1 week? You don't do that. You are setting the man up to fail. So these are the little things that women themselves need. Because, but would you really blame such a woman? Because who taught us? Nobody taught us. All they taught us is how to be a good wife, how to know how to clean, how to cook, how to warm your husband's bed. They never tell you about external factors that can lead to problems in the marriages. External interference, including interference from extended family members. There are some family members who would go all out to destroy their brother's marriage, including using fetish means and spiritual means, just because they feel that the wife, who they've forgotten, is actually supporting their brother to help him succeed. They now think that the wife is the enemy that is stopping their brother from uh, breaking the Bank of England to give them all the money in the Bank of England. So there are some diabolic family members who go all out to destroy their, not only even with men, even with women. There are some mothers who go all out to make sure that their daughters never get married because they just want her to be the breadwinner in the home. A client of mine once told me of a story of a guy that was obviously talking to her, and he was talking marriage in his 40s. Any little thing, my mom sick, my mom said, my dad said, any little thing is running home to Onitsha to go and be with his mom. Anything, bam, they are calling him. Any little thing, he has to take permission from his mom. So it's like they have actually wrapped him around their fingers. That guy in the next, even when he's 60, I doubt it if he's going to get married. And if he eventually gets married, I wonder whether that marriage how long that marriage will last. Because he takes permission from his mom for everything he wants to do. Maybe his mom will actually be giving him permission on the particular days when he will sleep with his wife. You see? So pray for your husband to receive the grace of God, that he will see the Lord primarily as a source of joy and love. If he doesn't see the Almighty God as his source of joy and love, the day the two of you fall out and there's a problem between the two of you, and one strange woman starts giving him attention, either as a work colleague or a church member and everything, he will now start comparing his wife with that strange woman that he has not lived with. And then before you know it, he will fall. So, but a man who understands that his source of joy is from God will not fall under such temptations. Thank the Lord because he will keep your husband in faithfulness, both home and abroad, in the mighty name of Jesus. A faithful man. A faithful man. Do you know a lot of times, when I go through Proverbs 31 is talking about the virtuous woman. Do you know it takes a virtuous man to have a virtuous woman? It takes a virtuous man to produce a virtuous woman. It takes a virtuous man to produce a virtuous woman. No matter how virtuous a woman is, if she marries the wrong man who doesn't understand how to honor his marriage vows, it will tear that virtuous woman to pieces, and all the beauty and the grace and the virtue in her will be rubbished. So pray to the Lord to make your husband a faithful husband and a faithful father, even when he's at home or even if he's working outside the home, that he will continue to be faithful. Even when he wants to fall into temptation, the days that he's not at home, he remembers the fear of God, he remembers his marriage vows, he will be able to run away from temptation. Pray, women, pray. Thank God because your home will be founded on the truth and faithfulness on truth and faithfulness in Jesus' name. Ask the Lord to uproot every seed of unfaithfulness in your marriage. Pray, women, pray. Pray, women, pray. In this day and time, the destiny of your husband, who is the head of the home. The enemy is doing everything to make that man derail. Continuously pray for your husband. If possible, take like 2 or 3 days a week aside to fast and pray. Also, a prayer of unity, a prayer of agreement between you and your husband can also help to enhance faithfulness. It can also help the man to stay away from every kind of temptation. So praying always, and also making that, giving that leeway for communication, effective communication, so that if the woman herself is going through any kind of temptation, even at her place of work, or the man is going through any kind of temptation in church or place of work, they should both feel free always to be transparent, to talk about it. The more you talk about things, the more there's a propensity for you not to be caught in any kind of temptation. May the Lord help us to uphold our marriage vows in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Now, in continuation of our winter jackets and winter coats, this is another stylish jacket with all the nice prints and all. Which can be worn during spring, because it's not so warm. It's a bit light, but you can comfortably wear this during spring, and then you are good to go. To bring to put a little bit of a touch of class and a contrasting, so you carry this contrasting red bag, and then you are good to go. By the way, this bag, sometimes you have to be a wise shopper. This bag is a Enigaldi, is a brand. Is a very because this is not patent. This is 100% leather. So Enigaldi is a very good. It's a very expensive brand online. This bag is going for about £380, but you won't believe how much I bought it. I'm not going to tell you. Brand new. I got it in a shop somewhere in East London at a reduced, over 50% reduced price. And you got to check it out online. It's a label, 100% leather. It's a very, very beautiful bag. I actually got extra two for my two daughters. I got 2 black ones for them, and I decided to take this red one. Stylish mommy. Anyway, I hope you've been blessed by these broadcasts today, and I hope to see you in my next broadcast. In the meantime, keep praying, keep trusting God, keep being that wise woman that has the spirit of discernment, because in helping your husband to be upright, you're not only helping him, you're helping yourself, you're helping the destiny of your children and also your grandchildren. May the Lord continue to empower you and to give you wisdom as a woman. God bless you. Bye-bye.